Hey guys, as we get closer to November, there seems to be one divisive topic on everyone's mind, and that's the presidential election. And at its core, we are wondering about the direction our country's headed. Are we making a left turn or are we choosing to go right? But the bigger question, and what truly is the driving force behind election anxiety, is how much is this going to cost me? And by cost, I literally mean financial cost. And since we're real estate people and investors, and most of us have a significant portion of our net worth tied into real estate, the question I've been asking is how will the election affect the real estate market? The surface assumption is that buying or selling a home, it's one of the most important decisions you will likely make in your lifetime. And with the political landscape and the uncertainty leading up to potentially new policy changes, maybe the safest bet is to wait it out and see what happens. And while that might be true for some buyers and sellers, it's not necessarily true for the market as a whole. With a second term from Trump, we could be looking at increased deregulation and corporate tax cuts, which in turn could influence economic growth and real estate investment and development as a whole. He's proposed making federal land available for new housing projects and increasing fossil fuel production to make building those homes even cheaper. Even with these new homes hitting the market, though, there are 142 million Gen Z and millennials who could potentially be looking to buy, and the demand could again outpace market supply, leading to an increase in home prices. We saw this happen in his first term. Lower interest rates, coupled with strong new economic policies, gave the housing market a nice boost, but made it really competitive, and it was a challenge for younger and first-time homebuyers. Kamala, on the other hand, has a very ambitious plan that looks to favor lower-income buyers and first-time homebuyers. Her plan includes building 3 million new homes over her 4 years and increasing low-income housing tax credits and similar benefits for single-family home builders that are looking to sell to first-time home buyers, and adding other tax benefits for builders who are looking to renovate outdated buildings and turn them into new available housing, as well as a catch-all fund to combat local zoning restraints and infrastructure shortfalls. Maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but as someone who earns their living through real estate and through real estate investments and real estate sales, I'm going with the guy who made his fortune in the exact same industry. I just don't see Trump biting the hand that feeds him and or potentially making things worse off for the people who depend on the real estate market as their primary source of income. Even as president, he's still a real estate guy at heart, and what makes him more money makes us more money. Clearly, though, the real estate market is a major campaign topic, and both candidates claim to have plans to address it during their term. The question is, who stands to benefit in the end? And that's assuming anything they actually claim gets approved and takes effect while they're in office. So really, there's no definitive answer. The future is always uncertain, and if we went off of what presidential candidates said their plans were for their country while they were campaigning, we'd be shooting dice in the dark. The only hard data we can actually go off of is the market stats from past election years and how the current market stacks up against those years. From what we've been seeing in the current market over the last few months, the market has definitely softened. We went from a strong seller's market post-COVID, where homes were selling for over asking and buyers were waiving contingencies just to get an offer accepted, to more recently a more buyer-friendly market, where buyers can actually negotiate on a property and craft offers that lean more in their favor. And this is not new news to anyone that follows real estate in their area. And this is a completely normal cycle for the real estate market as a whole. We've seen dips followed by upticks for the last 100 years, but one thing has always been consistent. With dips and ticks aside, the market has always trended up. The more specific question people are asking is, will the presidential election continue the dip or be a catalyst for an uptick? And to answer it, we need to look at past election years to craft our most educated guess. If we look at the last 11 election years, going all the way back to 1978, 9 of those 11 elections, home sales have increased in the year following the new presidency. And the effect can also be seen in home prices. Home prices during election years are pretty resilient, and in 7 of the 8 election years in the past, we've seen home prices increase the following year as well, with the only exception being, of course, 2008, And we all know what happened that year. Well, what about mortgage rates, you ask? In 8 of the last 11 presidential elections, we've seen a decrease in mortgage rates as well, and anywhere from 0.25% to a full percent in decrease. This sounds pretty amazing, right? But it's kind of a double-edged sword. While a decrease in interest rates brings more new buyers into the market, it also means more competition in the market and a decrease in available supply. Because of that, home prices increase, which is great for investors and sellers, but more of a challenge for new buyers and younger buyers. So let's recap. Historically, the real estate market has stalled a little leading up to an election year, but then it rebounded the following year with an increase in both home sales and prices, with a decrease in interest rates most years, and an influx of new buyers to the market. The presidentially proposed policies really won't have any direct effect on the market in the immediate future, but they stand more as speculation at this point. The historical data tells us that we are right on track for a strengthening of the market in 2025. If you're on the fence about buying real estate now, just know this has been the best time to buy in the last 4 years. And if you're considering selling, there's still buyers out there, just not quite as many. Either way, real estate is always a sound investment. You just have to look at the data.